Hotel managers, what's the wildest guest complaint you've ever handled that seemed unbelievable but turned out to be true? I've been running the Crestwood Inn for over a decade, tackling every issue under the sun. Faulty heaters, loud guests, misplaced linens. But nothing could have braced me for Mrs. Langley in room 832. She rang the front desk at 4:12 a.m., her voice trembling. "The walls are leaking blood," she whispered. "There's red liquid streaming down the bathroom tiles." My night supervisor, Marcus, sighed. "Ma'am, it's likely just moisture from the shower," he said, trying to calm her. "I know blood when I see it," she snapped. "Send someone up here immediately." Marcus called me, waking me from sleep. I'd handled my share of odd cases, guests intoxicated, others on medications causing strange visions, even some experiencing mental health crises. Our usual approach was to send security, inspect the room, and offer a room change if necessary. When I stepped into room 832, my heart sank. Crimson streaks trailed down the bathroom wall, collecting in puddles on the pristine tiles. The smell was unmistakable, sharp, metallic, like blood. Mrs. Langley stood in the corner, gripping her nightgown. "I told you," she said softly. I summoned maintenance right away. When our technician Carl arrived with his tools, his face blanched. "Boss, that's not a plumbing issue," he said. "That's coming from inside the wall." We carved a small opening in the drywall. What we found forced me to call the authorities. A possum had somehow entered the ventilation system above room 832, gotten stuck in the wall, and perished. But that wasn't the worst of it. The creature had been there for weeks, decomposing slowly. Each time Mrs. Langley used her bathroom, the heat and steam sped up the decay, causing fluids to ooze through tiny fissures in the wall. Carl gagged in the corridor. I couldn't fault him. The stench when we exposed the wall was unbearable, a mix of rot, filth, and an oddly sweet note that turned your stomach. "How did a possum get in there?" I demanded. Carl aimed his flashlight into the gap. "Hawkins, this." A storm last month had damaged a rooftop vent cover. We'd repaired the obvious damage but overlooked a narrow gap, barely 5 inches wide, where the possum had slipped through. It had navigated 2 floors of ductwork before becoming trapped in the wall space above the bathroom. The responding police officer stared at me, incredulous. "You're saying a dead possum is leaking through the walls?" he asked. "That's exactly what I'm saying." Mrs. Langley had been with us for 4 nights, complaining daily about a foul odor. Housekeeping insisted they'd thoroughly clean the room each morning. She'd requested a room switch twice, but we were fully booked for a convention. The health department closed off that entire floor for 3 weeks. We had to gut 3 rooms, replace all the drywall, and hire a hazmat cleanup team. The insurance company initially balked, calling the claim too outlandish until they reviewed the photos. Mrs. Langley never raised her voice or demanded a payout. When I offered a full refund and 2 complimentary nights, she simply nodded. "I knew I wasn't imagining it," she said. "Thank you for taking me seriously." Marcus quit a month later, saying the night shift was too much, haunted by thoughts of things lurking in the walls. I brought in a counselor for the housekeeping team. 2 of them refused to work above the 2nd floor for weeks. The local news ran with it. "Dead possum oozes through hotel walls" aired on Channel 5 for days. Our online reviews took a beating. Bookings fell 25% that quarter. 7 months later, Mrs. Langley returned for her yearly conference. She specifically asked for room 832, now fully renovated. "Slept like a dream," she said at checkout. "Finally, a room with no shocks." I keep the health department's report in my office drawer. When a guest's complaint sounds too wild to be true, I glance at it to remind myself that reality can outdo fiction. Just last week, a guest reported their toilet was making dolphin noises. I sent maintenance right away. Turns out a colony of mice had nested in the plumbing system.